Hi, guys. Welcome to another week of this crazy ass world we live in and all of the energies that come along with it. Um, this last week with the Mars conjunct Saturn and Venus moving into Pisces. So like we went from this really, really harsh, pressurized, fixed energy, and now we're moving more into a mutable, flowy, watery kind of energy. So by the end of this week, we'll have Venus, Mars, Neptune, and Jupiter all in Pisces. And starting yesterday, and we talked about this last night, like starting last night, real late, excuse me, Jupiter and Neptune began their conjunction, which will be happening for the next 8 days until the 16th. And this is all leading us up to the full moon in Libra, which is happening on the afternoon, Saturday, the 16th. So yeah, we're in for another really interesting week of energies. And you guys, to be quite honest, like, let's get real here. Every single astrologer out there are millions of us out there. All of us can predict what this Jupiter conjunct Neptune in Pisces is going to do. Also with Venus there, adding a little bit more and it's at the 23rd degree and the 24th degree. And the 23rd degree is a Saturnian degree. The 24th degree is a Neptune degree. So there's a lot of illusion this week, and there's a lot of things that are going to be said that in the coming weeks, especially as Jupiter moves into Aries, like the reality of it will come out, the truth of it will come out. And I'm sort of already seeing some things being unearthed in really small ways, but this is bringing so much illusion to the surface that if you're not grounded in who you are and you're not grounded in your truth and allowing yourself to center every day, you could find yourself really falling into a deep depression. You could find yourself just generally not really feeling good about the state of what's going on in the world. Because even though Jupiter is a very beneficial planet, and even though Neptune is one of those planets that, is just sort of a wild card, if you will, there are positive and negatives to both of them. And it really is because this is more of a feeling kind of energy. You can't think your way out of this crap. You can't think your way out of this stuff that's going on. So because it's more of a feeling energy, you really are going to have to look at it in the way that you would look at it in your perspective, the way that your life is going, and say, I'm going to use the benefits of Jupiter expanding me and in whatever area that Pisces is in your chart, like whatever Jupiter is trying to show you to help you grow and expand, that is still a thing. And then with Neptune there, it's just like listening to your intuition, really paying attention, because Jupiter can do things and manifest stuff into the real world very easily. And Neptune is more of the imaginary, the idea, right? So like Jupiter's realistic versus idealistic, but Jupiter's actually very idealistic too. And that sort of is what is causing the problem. So as long as you approach the energy this week from a place where you know that you don't know everything, and you are in the mindset of the audacity for myself to even think that I know everything. When you approach the energy this week that way, it'll be a lot easier. It will benefit you more. You can focus on the path that you're on instead of the path that everybody else is doing, because there are going to be so many distractions and people are losing their minds. So this is another time to really make sure that you have a support system, make sure that you have people around you that dearly love you and are taking care of you. You can tell that when you're in a environment, with the people that in your environment that are not really supportive of you, you can tell by just like how anxious you can be all the time. And that can make a person really super depressed. So, all right, let's look at it day to day. Again, as usual, so we have two screens again because there's a lot going on this week. So when I get done with the first screen, you guys go ahead and take a screenshot, and then we'll do the same with the second screen. I like to do that so you guys can kind of just, you know, so you don't have to go back to the video. You can just kind of look at the aspects yourself and even do some research if you want to look into it more. So April 9th to April 15th. 2022, Saturday, April 9th, the first quarter Cancer moon square the Aries sun. And this is also trine Jupiter, Neptune in Pisces conjunction. And the moon will also trine the Scorpio South node. There's a lot of nostalgia coming up right now. There's I've already noticed, I've had a couple of friends from my past, like one of them even from damn near 23 years ago, who I really haven't seen and maybe have only talked to a couple of times. Like they've, you know, come in to say, hey, what's going on? How are you doing? Stuff like that. But yeah, like friends that I haven't talked to in a while are showing up. And I'm also noticing that I'm processing some of my childhood. I wouldn't even they're not even traumas at this point or wounds at this point, because I've just done so much work with them, but I'm still processing like moments in my childhood because a lot of them I blacked out. I know that sounds really funny, but it's true. So like I'm still processing stuff. So this energy can be very nostalgic. Sunday, and like kind of the whole weekend is going to be that way. Sunday, the moon is in Leo. This whole weekend, you may find yourself being like a little cranky as well, a little aggressive and a little cranky. I'll talk about that a little bit more when we get into the charts too. But Sunday, so with the first quarter moon, Cancer moon, we'll also talk about what that first quarter moon is about too, and what you should focus on with this weekend, because it's really going to help you to have a focus. The Leo moon trine there's a late night trine to Chiron on Sunday. Aries Mercury will square Pluto in Capricorn. So Aries Mercury is at that 28th degree square Pluto in Capricorn. And then Mercury will move into Taurus later on that day. Then we have Monday, April 11th, the Leo moon will trine the Aries sun and will oppose Saturn in Aquarius. I'm only laughing because, man, this Leo moon is going to cause some things. And it's really more about like people who are disrespecting you are not going to be able to get away with it. Like, you're not going to let them, like, people are just going to be like, this, you know, during the weekend and the first couple of days of the week, the claws will be out. Pun completely intended on that one. Leo moon on Tuesday, the Leo moon will be opposite Mars in Aquarius, and then will ingress to Virgo, and then trine Mercury in Taurus. So the moon will be in Leo starting on Tuesday and will oppose Mars in Aquarius. Will go void probably just for like an hour, and then ingress to Virgo. And then the moon is immediately going to trine Mercury that's now in Taurus, and will also oppose Venus in Pisces later on in the evening. Jupiter and Neptune will get to that exact conjunction on Tuesday in Pisces, and that'll be at the 23rd degree, which is the Aquarius degree. And then we have the sun in Aries sextile Saturn in Aquarius. And, you know, it's so interesting because this is sort of what I'm talking about, like the way that, because this would be an amazing day to be able to get a whole bunch of things done with projects and stuff. But if you get stuck in that Jupiter Neptune conjunction and you can't pull yourself out of it, this whole week's going to be like a wash. So you really got to watch your own center, your own, like if that means that you stay off social media all week, just so you don't lose your cool and you don't like watch everybody else's lives and then envy them kind of thing, those kind of things. Wednesday, April 13th, we have the Virgo moon trine Taurus and trine Uranus in Taurus. That was interesting how I wrote that. And then we'll also quincunx the Chiron in Aries. Thursday, April 14th, we have the moon in Virgo opposite the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction, and then we'll trine Pluto before ingressing to Libra to lead up to that full moon that's happening on Saturday. We have Mars at 29 degrees in Aquarius all day. We actually will have Mars at 29 degrees in Aquarius for half the day on Wednesday and for the entire day on Thursday, and then Mars will ingress to Pisces on the 14th. So more of that watery Pisces energy. This is going to feel more like Pisces season than Pisces season did, probably, because we have Venus. Venus is exalted in Pisces. Jupiter is a ruler of Pisces. Neptune is a ruler of Pisces. And now Mars is in Pisces. And that Mars action, passiveness is really going to be key during this time as well. So just a lot of illusion going on. And there's going to that 29th degree of Mars in Aquarius all day on Thursday does not feel good to me. It's an anaretic degree. We're going to talk about that and what that means. I don't like it. I'm just saying, I don't like it. Friday, April 15th, tax day. The moon in Libra it's also my grandfather's birthday. God rest his soul. He passed away when I was 13, but always on Friday, April 15th, I'm like, it's my, I don't really celebrate. I mean, it's not tax day to me. It's my grandfather's birthday. The moon in Libra opposes Chiron in Aries on Friday. Remember, we are leading up to the full moon. This is going to be very emotional. And then we have a bonus, Saturday, April 16th, the Libra full moon at 2:54 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 26 degrees, squaring Pluto. Pluto's at 28 degrees, so there's that 2-degree square, but it'll still get there. And we'll trine Saturn and quincunx the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction. So there's a lot of stuff going on with that full moon. And this is really a time of purging. We started the whole new astrological new year with that Aries new moon. We are now in eclipse season. We have that Taurus solar eclipse on the 30th of April. So paying attention to wherever Libra is in your chart, and go ahead and take that screenshot. I'm gonna knock this off here. But paying attention to wherever that Aries Libra axis is in your chart is going to give you a lot of clues as to what it is that you're building up for this release for the Libra full moon. And then moving on. And remember, during eclipse season, it is a time of release. We want to release, release, release. We don't want to hold on to things during eclipse season because this is a really big time of growth and we have to make space, right? And Jupiter is here telling us that, conjunct Neptune telling us that. So not buying into the illusion that everything is just falling apart, because sometimes it feels like that. Absolutely. And sometimes it even looks like that, but it really is your perspective of what falling apart looks like. I don't know the amount of things in your life that you can lose, that a person can lose. If you are equating that loss with your own value and your own worth, and that includes relationships. And that's really what the Aries Libra axis talks about. I talked about this a little bit last year, or during actually Libra season. I think I talked a little bit about this too, the Aries Libra axis. And this is the one that we're going to be on. This is the next solar eclipse cycle, the Aries Libra axis. So paying attention to what's happening in your relationships right now is going to be really, really huge for when the North Node and the South Node go into Aries and Libra next year. So Aries, first house, I am. Libra, seventh house, relationships, partnerships, business partnerships, adult children relationships, romantic, I even look at this as like super, super best friends. Like when you're really best friends with people, or you feel like there's a familiar, like a family bond, even though you're not genetically related. I see that as the seventh house too. It's very soulmate and like long-term, like wanting to have a commitment with people. And so the Aries new moon was showing you all the ways to show up for yourself. We talked about that, and that you have to be the warrior. And even in relationships, you have to have your own identity. This is about having interdependent relationships, not codependent relationships. We want to be sovereign beings while we're in relationships, right? So that's what Aries teaches us. And a lot of people see that as very selfish. But if you're in a relationship and you're codependent on somebody else, or you guys are codependent on each other, that's actually the most selfish thing that you can do, because you're basically telling the other person that they're the ones that are responsible for your happiness. They're the ones that are responsible to show up for you. They're the ones. That's not how it works. We get into relationships to see the mirror of ourselves, and we see ourselves in other people, which is what Libra shows us. Libra is the great mirror of the zodiac. You'll also hear that about Gemini. You'll hear that about Pisces. When we are in relationships, if we don't have that balance between the I am and the we and the us, it can get really messy, right? So as we move forward towards this Libra full moon this week, the thing that I want you to look at, and the thing that I want you to pay attention to, and you'll notice that with this first quarter moon in Cancer on Saturday, this is about really letting go. It's about taking action on the things that you want to take action on. It's about saying, I'm no longer waiting to show up for myself. This is what I'm going to do. And if that means that you have to take action within your relationships, that's going to be very, familiar for you to do. So this is about you continuing on and moving forward, even when it feels like, or it looks like everything else feels like it's sort of falling apart. And it's not, how do I want to put this? It's not about not looking at what hurts, right? Because when we talk about letting things go, when we talk about taking action on new stuff and letting things go, and letting the things fall apart that need to fall apart, it does not get past me that as human being, as living a human experience, you have emotions for all of that. So it's not about ignoring how you feel. It's about really, really sitting in it. And if you can be honest with yourself during the most illusionary time, and the most honest with your relationships during the most illusionary time, coming on the other side of this full moon in Libra is probably going to feel really, really good. So that's why I want to stress that pay attention to what this week is showing you, because there are going to be a lot of distractions going on too. And there are going to be a lot of ways, like even like baseball season is here, and just everything. So there's going to be a lot of distractions going on out there in the real world. So really pay attention to what's happening in your own life. Okay, let's go week to week. We have a fancy purple wheel now. I thought I would be cute. Matches the background. Okay. All right. So we have the moon in Cancer. Let's find her. She's over here. The moon in Cancer will square the sun in Aries. That'll be earlier on in the day. A moon in Cancer is kind of crabby, to be quite honest. They really can be very temperamental. Sometimes they can be, they're very emotional. Cancer energies are emotional. They don't really necessarily like to admit to it. And sometimes that can just make them a little bit cranky. So, and it's, I'm not going to try and talk myself out of that, but it's because it's kind of true. And if you have Cancer, I have Cancer energy in my chart too. So I understand, like my Mars is in Cancer. I'm very cranky sometimes. So, but the moon in Cancer square the Aries sun is going to make things a little bit more cranky than usual. This will trine the Jupiter Neptune conjunction as well, and will trine the South Node. A lot of nostalgic and healing go hand in hand right now. You know, you may feel more comfortable by like calling your friends or by getting together with family members, just kind of like hanging out with each other and not, you know, like do something fun, do something that's warm, right? And that will really help kind of even out the mood. Watch for arguments, because that Cancer square sun or moon square sun is very hard-headed, is very, very hard-headed. So just be careful on that. Again, the first quarter moon is about taking action. So if you have things that you need to get accomplished this weekend, that's really something to pay attention to and to forge forward on. Let's take a look at Sunday. Sunday, we have the moon in Leo. And we'll make a late night trine to Chiron. Okay. Early in the morning, Mercury will square Pluto before going into Taurus as well. So with this Leo moon, so a Leo moon is very, it's really funny because I've actually known Leo moons, and I'm going to say this, and they were not like this, but it's only because that they didn't really see themselves in the way that other people saw them. They were kind of wounded. And I think that that's a Leo moon trait, is that they're sort of wounded in childhood and they are to grow into how amazing they actually are. But a Leo moon does not allow disrespect, period. So if they feel like you have disrespected them in some way, because they you know, a healed Leo moon, let's put it this way. A Leo moon that is very aware of who they are and their emotions, and they're learning to heal, or they're wanting to heal, is very regal, and they know who they are, and they're very elegant, and they are just, you know, Leo, it's a sun, royalty, right? It's king of the jungle. So when a Leo moon is disrespected, it's just, you don't even want to be in the room. And because we have this Mercury square Pluto just before a late night ingress to Taurus, so we're coming back into some fixed Earth energy that's going to be adding to this Uranus over here. We also have the Mars tension from 29 degrees too. So Mercury in Aries is going to be there all day long. Mars is going to be at 29 degrees. We see that. So we have Mercury at 29 degrees after the square to Pluto early in the morning. And then we'll have the creeping up, coming up on the Mars 29th degree in a couple of days. So the pressure that we're going to be feeling for these first couple of days with these anaretic degrees, an anaretic degree is when it's the pressurized point in the chart where a lot of karma can take place. And especially in those fixed signs, especially in those fire signs, the ones that bring a lot of passion to the surface. Yes, fixed signs can be very passionate. Have you ever seen an Aquarius or Taurus or Leo angry? I mean, come on. So passionate. They'll hold it in, but when they get upset, it's huge. So, but that 29th degree is that it's a very pressurized degree, and you have to kind of watch yourself, because once the planet moves into the next degree, the 0 degree mark, right, into the next sign and ingresses that sign, there can be accidents. There can, especially since it's Mercury in Aries and it just squared Pluto, you know, so pay attention to where you're stepping, pay attention to where you're driving on Sunday, pay attention to if you are aware of your own environment and your own spaces, you're not going to hurt yourself. But if you aren't fully aware of what's going on, you absolutely could. We still also have Saturn square the nodes. So there's a lot of testing this is a lot of this time, you know, I hear people a lot saying like, I'm having a really unlucky day. The universe isn't really working out for me today. The universe isn't this and the universe isn't that. And then I like to remind people that the reason why the universe isn't working out for you today is because you are your universe. So if you aren't working out for you today, then how do you expect the rest of the world to? Right? We have so many expectations for the rest of the world to fix our problems or to fix the energy for us that we forget to look inside. So I'm just here to remind you that that's why I always say get grounded, get centered, get focused. What is it that you want to do? I get off track too. I get distracted easily. There are a lot of things that distract me from, you know, my purpose and what I feel like I'm supposed to be doing in this life. So and this can be a really big time on Sunday for that to happen. So Mercury square Pluto, really keep an open mind. Be careful of becoming obsessed in your thoughts. Really trying to coerce anyone by your statements could end up in needless arguments. And what's interesting is, you know, we might even be feeling that a little bit on Saturday as well. So it's just going to be we will be feeling that a little bit on Saturday as well. So it's just going to be a really sort of aggressive kind of weekend. And then we have Mercury moving into Taurus, which will be later, 29 degree, 29 degree, 29 degree. Keep going. One more. There we go. So see, you have here, it says it's almost 10 p.m. and Mercury's already been in Taurus for probably like an hour at this point. So it'll probably be like around 9. You'll feel it. You will feel it because Mercury in Taurus has a lot of grounding. It's that earth, that fixed earth. And we've really sort of been needing this grounding. On the other side, even though Taurus can feel a lot better when we get into that energy, it is still a raging bull. You know, it still has horns. It's still very fixed. It can still get very, very angry very easily. So if you don't watch, accidents could easily happen to you on Sunday or even this weekend. Just be very careful. Mercury will be in Taurus. Hold on a second. I did not, let me find this. Here we go. I didn't write it down. Mercury will be in Taurus until the 29th of April. So really, really fast, flying through, and then we'll be in Gemini. Mercury starts retrograde a pre-shadow retrograde this month because Mercury will retrograde in Gemini. But with a Mercury in Taurus, this transit will have us thinking before we speak and building our lives for long-term success instead of just trying to like go boom, 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 and like really hurry up and try and get a lot of things done all at once. This is going to help slow us down a little bit. Mercury in Taurus energy is much slower. I don't know if you guys ever notice like when the moon is in Taurus that things are a lot slower and all you really want to do is just kind of like relax yourself. So we're moving into having all of this Pisces energy and we're moving into Taurus energy. So things are becoming a little bit more passive than they were before, which also helps people hold secrets with this Jupiter-Neptune conjunction. Mercury and Taurus natives have a very grounding and rich way of speaking. They express themselves with the authority and earthly wisdom. These are no nonsense individuals, which saves them a lot of time from anything idealistic that could distract them. So remember, I keep saying all of the distractions of the world are going to be getting to you guys. So this Mercury in Taurus is kind of going to be a saving grace if you can tap into it a little bit. Okay. Let's go to Monday. Monday, April 11th, we have the moon in Leo trine the sun. So we have the moon in Leo here. The sun is here. This is kind of late in the day. Let's back up a little. So the moon in Leo will trine the sun and will oppose Saturn. You will not be in the mood to put up with others who continuously show you disrespect, and you're not afraid to make it known. People will be a little wily on Monday. I don't know that anybody, and like I said in the beginning, no astrologer, I don't care what they predict, really absolutely 100% knows how this Jupiter Neptune conjunction in Pisces is going to turn out. Do we have some ideas? Absolutely. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to even do these kinds of things. But with everything else that's going on, there's just so many mishaps that can happen, especially if we are being aggressive ourselves, if we are, really not paying attention to details, and we're not aware of our surroundings, and we're not aware of the people around us. We can easily become, triggered about stuff. And this week specifically, because the Libra moon is showing up as well. So, okay. So, Monday is going to be kind of a cranky mood. We're going to move on to Tuesday, 4/12, April 12th. We have the moon in Leo early in the morning, opposition to Mars before the ingress to Virgo. And I think that Leo opposition to Mars in Pisces, Mars in Aquarius is going to kind of boost us to get things accomplished on Tuesday, especially as we move into the Virgo moon, which will trine Mercury in Taurus and will oppose Venus in Pisces. So feeling a lot more like focusing on the tasks in front of you, really allow yourself to be centered. Otherwise, you may find yourself losing control of your own temper, of your own mind. You may really feel delusional about some things if you are not being centered. And I've actually noticed, and I know that this is actually a lot of people feel this kind of thing, but I noticed that I'm becoming ungrounded and I'm becoming uncentered when I'm not hydrated, when I'm hungry, when I haven't rested, when I've been working all day and I haven't even allowed myself to take a break or go outside and breathe some fresh air. So there are things that we actually can do to help ourselves come back to us if we, catch it before, make sure, remind yourself to eat. And it's funny because with Jupiter and Neptune and Pisces in the 6th house, I've been dealing, because it's in my 6th house, I've been dealing with a lot of health stuff. And so this is really pushing me to remind myself to take my medicine and remind myself to eat and remind myself to do things like that. Okay, so there will be the depths during this time can go pretty dark, and the highs during this time can go pretty high. So that's why it's a little weird to be able to exactly predict how it's going to happen. Early moon, Jupiter, Neptune. We're still talking about Tuesday, the 12th. Early moon, Jupiter, Neptune conjunction exact will have us either drowning in the illusion of every fear we've ever had, or basking in the creating boost and driving us to bring more goodness into our lives. Again, this can be a very spiritual time. It can be a time where people are starting to awaken to the depths of who they are. And a lot of people don't like the depths of who they are. And they call that the dark night of the soul, because then they have to contend with all of this shit that they've been hiding about themselves. And they have to get really honest and take accountability. And this energy can do that too. So, if you're, it depends on really where you are on your journey. If you're still in that sort of victimhood, woe is me, not really taking accountability for your action and things, we can look at and point out every single bad thing that everybody did to us or the world did to us in our lives. Easy, piece of cake. Give me a piece of paper. I'll write down every name. I'll write down every incident. I'll write down every moment. But the hardest thing to do is to be able to look at yourself and say, oh, but I got to take accountability for my actions in this same experience that I had with that person. Even though that person hurt me, what do I need to do now for myself to heal? Right? I've said it 100 times. It is not your responsibility to take the hurt things that people have done to you. You don't take that on. It is not your responsibility to take that stuff on. People hurt you. That was not your fault. However, if you want to grow, then you're going to have to take accountability for the healing. if you want to be a better person, or there are a lot of people out there that really just don't care and they just, but I don't think those people are watching me talking about this right now, but there are out there and they don't care if you want to grow. They don't care if you want to get better. And they will do their damnedest to trigger you. And I 100% guarantee you they're on social media. So, the sun in Aries will also be sextile Saturn that day. So this is going to be an excellent day for getting things done. Like I said, I feel like that Leo moon opposite Mars first thing in the morning is really going to help us drive forward. It can make you super angry, or it can make you really, really driven, like purpose driven. You may feel a strong sense of discipline for the many things that need to get accomplished with the Virgo moon trine Mercury and Taurus. Focus on what needs to be done versus the overindulgence. Really, that day can be so amazing for so many projects. Like whatever it is that you want to dream into your life, Tuesday is going to be a really great day. And I actually even think that Wednesday might be pretty good too, even though Mars will be at that 29th degree. Again, you just have to pay attention to your own energy and make sure that you're not placing yourself in situations that are aggressive. So April 13th, we have on Wednesday, April 13th, let's go there. We have Jupiter, Neptune at the Pisces degree 24. So they've moved from the 23rd degree of Aquarius to now the 24th degree Pisces. And so it's illusion on top of illusion on top of illusion. We have Mars at that 29th degree and ingressing to Pisces. So here, if we look, let's see. So, oh, wait, hold on. There we go. Wednesday. Mars. There it is, 29th degree. And the moon in Virgo will be trine Uranus and quincunx Chiron in Aries. So don't be really hard on yourself. You can't control everything. The Virgo moon is going to make you think that you need to control everything, but you really don't. And that Mars at the Aquarius 29th degree on Wednesday and Thursday is going to make you feel like you're stuck. You may have a lot of heavy worrying. That Virgo moon worries quite a bit. So this is going to be that day for you to get fresh air and for you to make sure that you are not entertaining the thoughts that things aren't moving forward and things aren't, because it's going to feel very stuck on Wednesday and Thursday with Mars at that 29th degree in that fixed Aries. Thursday, the 14th. So we have the moon in Virgo is like really early in the morning is going to oppose the Jupiter, Neptune illusion at 24 degrees, really early in the morning, like 6 a.m., 7 a.m. on the East Coast. So the Virgo moon will oppose this Jupiter, Neptune illusion and trine Pluto in Capricorn before the moon ingresses to Libra. So, wow. Yeah. There's a lot of emotions coming up with this. And it's because things need to change. See where the moon is also going to trine Pluto at the 28th degree here. So the moon trine Pluto is it's intense because the emotions that you're feeling, and especially because it's Virgo and Capricorn, the emotions that you're feeling are you being harder on yourself than you need to be. And that opposition to Jupiter and Neptune can put you in a mindset of thinking that you're right, that you need to do more, that you are not good enough, that like whatever that narrative that you have in your mind that, and I don't know if everybody has this. I have a 12th house, stacked 12th house. So I have this narrative that's always run in my mind that I'm just not good enough. Like everything that I do is not good enough and it's never going to be good enough and da, 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 da. And I've been able to overcome it through the years in massive, massive ways, but it still shows up every once in a while. And these are the perfect conditions where that can happen. So I don't know if you have that regular narrative in your mind, but now is the time. Now, before we get to this energy today on Friday, before we get to this energy on next Thursday or even next Wednesday or through the week. Now is the time to make a plan. And that's the thing that I've had to learn, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And you can't be hard on yourself if it doesn't work either, because at least you tried. So make a plan that on the days that you're not doing well, because you can't predict them sometimes you can, like this. But on the days that you're not necessarily doing like mentally well for yourself, make a plan. Make a plan of a friend that you're going to call, somebody that you can trust. On your good days, write down all of the amazing things of who you are, those days that you really can see yourself for who you are, and write all of that gratitude and all of that stuff down. So on your bad days, you can go back and look at it. And those are just little things that I've even had to do to remind myself, because especially after brain trauma, you have to remember, right? So you have to remind yourself again of who you are. And this is really 100% going to be that time to do that. So also on Thursday, we have the Mars 29th degree in Aquarius all day, really feeling the pressure. You may become emotionally obsessed with not being able to move forward right now, or really feeling stuck. Really careful on taking actions too quickly on things when Mars ingresses to Pisces, because we're going from fixed to mutable like that. And with Pisces, there aren't a lot of boundaries. So Mars in Pisces happens. Here we go. So later on in the evening, again, Mars has already been there for about an hour. So like around 9 or 10 p.m. Central Time, Mars will be in Pisces. And this will most likely make us feel more passive aggressive than we were before. This transit brings more emotional and sensitive natures to people. This can also help us lead more with our hearts rather than our ego or logic. Learning to trust your own intuitive radar will be one of the biggest ways to survive this transit. Also, I wrote down here, because a lot of times the reasons why we can't trust our gut radar is because our gut microbiome is not doing well. I don't know why I wrote that down, but I do know that like my partner and I have been having a lot of stomach issues lately. And I think a lot of that has to do with the gut biome not being, properly pH balanced. So, we've been doing things like, the probiotic drinks and the, stuff like that, kefir, stuff like that, just to kind of help it along. But that's really it's interesting, because that's a chronic thing, especially in the United States, because of all the preservatives that we have in the food and stuff, that our gut biome isn't well. And when your gut bacteria, basically, or the environment in your gut isn't doing well, that's where your intuition is. There are more nerves in your stomach than there are in your brain. So that's why they call the stomach the second brain and the intestines the second brain. And when we are so bogged down by all of the shit, that's inside of us, we can't hear it, right? We can't hear our intuition. We can't tune into some of the things that we want to do, especially in the beginning when you're really trying. And that's why people start to eat better when they go through their spiritual awakening, because they want to hear their own intuition better. And they understand that, oh my gosh, I need to eat better so that I can have a more clear channel and a better pathway towards me. So that was one of the things that I wanted to put in here. Pisces is opposite of Virgo, and Virgo rules the stomach. So there's no coincidences when I wrote that down, and it was just like a really quick, scratch on my paper, just wrote it down really fast. So paying attention to what you're eating and what you're putting in your body, and we're all guilty of it. All of us are guilty of not eating properly sometimes, but as long as you're paying attention on a long-term basis, that's going to help you in tremendous ways. Okay. Friday the 15th, we have the moon in Libra leading to the full moon. So let's look at Friday the 15th. Let's go back a few hours again, just because. Friday the 15th, we have the moon in Libra opposing Chiron, leading up to the full moon. So focusing on the balance of your relationships and championing yourself within relationships are really going to be a big theme. depending on where Libra and Aries, again, this axis is the one that we're looking at right before the solar eclipse happens on the 30th. So you want to clear spaces, keep clearing, keep clearing. Moon opposite Chiron will be bringing wounds to the surface that can really help you grow towards your purpose. What ways are you giving more to others and not showing up for yourself? And that's what this full moon is going to be asking you in every area, and whatever areas of your chart that Libra is in. Where are you giving more to others and not giving back to yourself? And then as a bonus, let's just look really quick at this full moon. It's at, oh, wow, I have it right here. It's just exact 2:54 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on Saturday, the 16th, and it will be square Pluto. So still some pretty big, massive changes happening. Pluto is about our evolution. There's been a lot of, Pluto action happening already this year. There's been a lot of Saturnian action happening this year. There's now a lot of Neptunian, Jupiterian action happening this year too. So these energies are not quiet. They're very loud. And that's why when you feel you're most uncomfortable, there's a reason for it. And the universe isn't really to blame. We're given the energies in order for us to show up for ourselves in different ways. So you really have to be discerning on that for yourself. And so this Libra full moon is going to be square Pluto. We'll be trine Saturn, 3-degree orb, trine Saturn, 2-degree orb, square Pluto, and quincunx this Jupiter Neptune. So we have all of these big energies kind of at play during this. And, it's easy to get into karmic relationships right now and not recognizing that these relationships are probably more about a lesson that you need to learn about yourself. Some people are actually getting into their life partner relationships as well. So you have to be, again, very discerning, and you have to be able to look at it from your perspective. This is not going to be an easy week. I wish that I could tell you guys that everything is just going to be perfectly fine this week and everything is going to fall into place. I think that the energy is going to start lightening up a lot after this Libra full moon. We are in eclipse season, so it is going to be intense. So the more that you are taking care of yourself, the easier it'll be able to get through. I love you guys. Reminder that the second half of my April calendar is open for readings. This is the last month that I'll be taking readings for a while. I didn't realize it was going to be this soon, but here we are. Yes, I'm a little emotional about it. So if you haven't had a reading with me, the prices are super low right now. Take advantage. I love you guys. Bye.